One of the perks of living in the countryside, especially Toko, is that you can up at any time and decide to go by the sea. This morning was one such morning. We got up, did our devotion, I made the suggestion, and every hand was on deck. We didn't even have breakfast. The place is actually very bright, but it's now few minutes after 6. I remember when we were growing up, our parents would do this. They would leave before we get up, at least before I wake, because I was like the second to last child. So they were older children that were actually adults at that time in the house. And when we got up about 7 o'clock, they were already back from the beach, or that's the time they were returning from the beach. If I ever had any questions as to why they left so early to go to the beach, they answered all those questions. First of all, the traffic was nearly non-existent, so the opportunity was there to really submerge yourself into everything. Things that I would not normally notice, I noticed this morning, and the atmosphere was just so peaceful. When we got on the beach, this is what greeted us. We saw some nice little puppies, and it was very hard to get the boys away from them because they insisted that they wanted the puppies, especially Omarion. But let's take a minute and look at this. I would never understand how people say there is no God. Take a look at this. It can only be an awesome God to create something as great as this. The water was a bit cold, but once we got in there, all the coldness left. And the nice thing about it, it had one other couple besides us that came the same time on the beach, so we had the beach all to ourselves. By now, you all know that Jaden is not a water guy in terms of going in the beach. He would come and he would stay right on the sand and he would sunbathe. But for some reason, we were able to convince him to go in the water today. I don't know if it's because he had the life jacket, but he came and he wasn't even saying a word, and you all know he's a chatterbox. He hung to his daddy for dear life. But this little one here, he was like a fish. This guy loves the ocean. Normally, the problem we have with him when we come in the ocean is when it's time to leave, he doesn't want to go. And of course, you have to be watching him like how a hawk does watch birds. You have to be watching him because he just loves to dive and to swim. Oh, I wish Toko had proper facilities to facilitate kids like him. And let's take a minute to big up Daddy. Mind you, it's his job, but not much fathers is really step into that role. He stayed there with those boys, and you all already know that you have to put aside you when you come to the beach with children, so the bath is really for them. Once we were finished in the water, we came back out, and at this time I felt a bit more confident to go closer to the puppies because their mother was not around. And while Jaden was able to get over the fact that they couldn't take the puppies, so he was running and playing and forgot about that. Omarion didn't seem to understand why we could not have taken home the puppies. Maybe if they were a bit bigger, we would have considered it, but in the past we have not had any luck with little puppies because they would always end up dead. Omarion and Jaden will always hold up the puppies, lift them up, have them in cloth, and they would always die. But I hope you enjoyed our video. God bless you.